Hey, it's Dave. Today we're going to say something that sounds rude, but it's actually freeing. You can be broke and smart, or rich and dumb, not as labels as money habits. Ever wonder why some people, despite having every advantage, seem to self-sabotage their wealth, while others, starting from nothing, build empires? It's not just about what you have, but how you think about it. Prepare to have your most fundamental beliefs about money completely shattered. Imagine two people. One, brilliant but perpetually struggling, the other, seemingly clueless, yet drowning in cash. What's the hidden factor? It's not intelligence, luck, or even hard work. This video reveals the uncomfortable truth about why some dumb rich thrive while smart, broke individuals remain stuck, and how you can flip the script. You've been told money is about hard work, intelligence, or even who you know. But what if all that's a lie? We're diving deep into the controversial reality of smart, broke versus dumb, rich, exposing the uncomfortable truths and counterintuitive principles that actually dictate financial success. This isn't what you think it is. If that made you uncomfortable, good. Discomfort is the doorway to better decisions. Because most people judge wealth by what they can see, and the most important money facts are invisible. Quick favor before we get into it: hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, then comment this, which is harder for you right now, saying no to yourself, or saying no to other people's expectations. Here's the first reality check. Income is not the same as net worth. Income is the water flowing in. Net worth is the reservoir you actually keep. Plenty of people have big flow and tiny reservoirs. A flashy lifestyle can be funded by debt, stress, and short-term luck. A quiet lifestyle can be funded by discipline, margin, and long-term ownership. The camera loves loud wealth. Real wealth doesn't need a camera. So I'm going to walk you through two playbooks. One is the Smart Broke Playbook, how scarcity forces strategy. The other is the Dumb Rich Playbook, how abundance without rules turns money into a mess. And by the end, you'll know exactly how to flip the script, regardless of your starting point. Because the goal isn't to look rich. The goal is to be unbreakable. Let's challenge the assumption. If someone has money, they must be smart. That's like saying someone has muscles, so they must be healthy. You can fake muscles with lighting. You can fake wealth with payments. I've seen high earners who are one surprise bill away from panic. They have a luxury car, but no buffer. A big house, but no margin. They're not wealthy. They're leveraged. I've also seen average earners with boring cars and calm eyes. Bills paid, savings steady, investments growing. Their life isn't loud, but it's stable. Stability is a flex most people never buy. Picture to friends. Same paycheck, same age, same talent. One raises spending every time life improves. The other raises investing first. 5 years later, their bank accounts tell completely different stories. Here's why. Spending is immediate. Wealth is delayed. Your brain loves immediate rewards, so dumb rich habits feel good fast. Smart broke habits feel boring fast, but powerful later. If you want a simple formula, try this. Wealth equals income minus lifestyle invested over time. Notice what's missing. There's no genius variable, there's no luck variable. There's behavior and time. A big paycheck can hide bad habits the way a loud engine can hide a broken steering wheel. You keep moving, so you assume you're fine. Then one sharp turn hits, and the truth shows up. That sharp turn can be a job change, a market drop, a medical bill, or a family emergency. Money doesn't prevent problems. It only gives you options when problems arrive. Now, let's talk about why so many rich people feel broke. They live at the edge of their income. Every dollar is already promised to bills, subscriptions, payments, and expectations. When your fixed costs are high, you're fragile. You can't say no, you can't breathe. Your income becomes a cage, even if the number looks impressive on paper. Take a simple example. Someone earns $10,000 a month. Sounds amazing, but if they spend $9,800, they're trapped. That extra $200 is not freedom, it's a rounding error. Now someone earns $4,000 a month, but spends $3,000. That $1,000 gap is power. It builds a buffer. It buys assets. It gives them options. Margin beats bragging. And this is where smart broke shines. When you've lived with limits, you learn to value margin. You learn to protect it. You stop seeing extra money as permission to spend. You see it as fuel to invest. Smart broke starts with one question before every purchase. What does this cost me later? Not just the money today, the future choices I'm giving up, the stress I'm agreeing to, the time I'm selling. Smart broke people learn to separate needs, wants, and identity purchases. A need supports life. A want adds joy. An identity purchase is trying to prove something. Identity purchases are the most expensive. They also become allergic to lifestyle inflation because they've felt the pain of being stuck. So when money increases, they don't immediately upgrade everything. They upgrade their security first. Security looks like cash reserves. It looks like a paid down balance. It looks like lower monthly obligations. It looks like breathing room. And breathing room changes your entire personality. Here's a habit that sounds small. Tracking your money once a week. Not obsessing, just checking. If you never look, you can't steer. You end up surprised by the same problems every month. Another habit, setting rules for spending. Like a simple pause 24 hours before big purchases. That pause protects you from impulse. And impulse is the silent partner of dumb rich. Smart broke also gets good at negotiating. Phone plan, insurance, bills. A 5-minute call can save a lot over a year. Most people would rather scroll than make the call. Winners make the call. And smart broke people pay attention to debt. Not all debt is equal. High-interest consumer debt is a fire. It grows while you sleep. If you ignore it, it becomes the reason you can't build wealth. So they attack that fire first. They don't chase fancy investments while the debt is eating them. They build a clean foundation. Because building wealth on top of chaos is like building a house on sand. Then they automate their wins. If you wait for motivation, you'll lose. Set up automatic transfers. Pay yourself first. Make investing the default. The best system is the one that runs without drama. And yes, smart broke people can still enjoy life. This isn't a misery plan. It's a priority plan. You can spend on what matters as long as you stop bleeding money on what doesn't. That's why you'll meet wealthy people who don't look wealthy. They don't feel the need to broadcast. Their money is working in the background. They're not renting status. They're buying freedom. They drive cars longer. They keep phones longer. They don't upgrade because the ad told them to. They upgrade when it makes sense. That gap between impulse and action is where wealth is built. They also invest early, even small amounts, because they respect compounding. Compounding is boring at first, then it becomes unfair. It rewards patience like nothing else. If you invest $200 a month, you might not feel it. But if you do it for years, you start owning pieces of businesses, funds, and assets that grow without you working extra hours. And that's the point. The smartest broke people aren't trying to save forever. They're trying to buy assets that eventually pay for life. Saving is step 1. Ownership is step 2. Now let's talk about dumb rich. Dumb rich is when money shows up, but rules don't. It's abundance paired with entitlement, impulse, and zero structure. The money is real, but the foundation isn't. Dumb rich often starts with a story. I deserve this. And maybe you do, but deserve doesn't mean afford. Afford means you can buy it and still keep your future intact. The dumb rich person buys the house that eats their cash flow. Then they buy furniture to match the house. Then they buy the car to match the driveway. And now they need the job to survive. That's not success. That's a trap with nicer paint. And the trap gets tighter every time you add a payment. Payments don't just cost money. They cost flexibility. Another dumb rich habit is confusing income with skill. They earn a lot, so they assume they understand money. But earning money and managing money are different games. A great athlete can be terrible at money. A brilliant surgeon can be terrible at money. A top salesperson can be terrible at money. Because financial behavior is its own discipline. Dumb rich also loves quick wins. Hot tips, hype. Someone's cousin made a fortune, so they jump in without understanding the risk. They don't invest, they chase. Chasing is emotional. Investing is deliberate. Chasing says, I need it now. Investing says, I'm building a machine. Machines take time, but once they run with less effort. Here's a painful truth. The bigger your lifestyle, the harder it is to tell the truth about your finances. Pride shows up. You don't want to downsize, you don't want to admit it. So you keep spending to protect an image. And the image becomes a bill. That's dumb rich. And high income can hide it for a long time. That's why it's dangerous. Everything looks fine until the income slows, the costs stay, and the math stops working. So what actually creates lasting wealth? It's not a secret stock. It's not a perfect year. It's a system that keeps you from sabotaging yourself. It's what you do when nobody is clapping. I call it financial IQ, but don't make it complicated. It's the ability to make good money decisions consistently, to know your numbers, to manage risk, to stay calm, to keep building. Step 1. Clarity. Know what you earn, what you spend, and what you owe. Most people don't have a money problem. They have a clarity problem. You can't fix what you won't face. Step 2. Margin. Build space between income and lifestyle. Margin is the seed of every investment. Without margin, you're always reacting, always stressed, always one event away from chaos. Step 3. Protection. That means a buffer and sensible insurance, and not living on the edge. Protection stops one bad week from turning into a multi-year setback. Step 4. Ownership. Put your money into productive assets over time. Keep it diversified. Keep it consistent. You're not trying to be right this week. You're trying to be wealthy later. Step 5. Patience. This is where most people quit. They want results before the process has time to work. But the process is the whole point. Wealth is built in the boring middle. And yes, you should keep learning. Not because you need to become a finance professor, but because the world changes. Costs change, rates change, markets change. Your plan must adapt without breaking. That's why get-rich-quick promises are so dangerous. They give you a dopamine hit and steal your discipline. Discipline is what compounds, dopamine doesn't. Let me redefine rich in one sentence. Rich is having choices. Choices to leave, choices to rest, choices to say no, choices to help, choices to live without panic. If you have $1 million but you're terrified of your bills, you're not rich in your nervous system. You're a stressed person with a big number. Peace matters. If you have a modest net worth but you have margin.com and a plan, you're already on the path to real wealth. Your habits are pointing the right direction, and direction matters more than speed. So here's the flip the script moment. If you're smart, broke, keep the mindset and add the actions. Track, cut leaks, build a buffer, kill bad debt, and start owning assets consistently. If you're dumb rich, don't shame yourself. Just rebuild the system, lower fixed costs, add margin, simplify investments, and stop buying identity. Your income is a gift. Use it to become unbreakable. I want you to try a 7-day challenge. For 1 week, write down every dollar you spend. No guilt, no drama, just data. At the end, you'll see exactly what's helping and what's hurting. Then pick one leak to eliminate. One subscription, one daily habit, one impulse trigger. Take that saved amount and automate it into saving or investing. Make the win permanent, not temporary. Next, pick one monthly payment to attack, even a small extra amount. Payments are anchors. The fewer anchors you have, the faster you move. Freeing cash flow is like getting a raise you control. And pick one asset-building habit. It can be as simple as a weekly transfer. The amount is less important than the identity. You are becoming someone who buys assets on schedule, like clockwork. Let me give you a quick story. One person I know got a big raise and instantly upgraded everything. 2 years later, they were stressed because their life cost the entire paycheck. Another person got a smaller raise and changed nothing for 6 months. They used the extra to wipe out a balance and build a cushion. That 6 months changed their confidence permanently. Notice what happened. Same event, more income. Different decision, more freedom. Money doesn't change you, it reveals you. It shows whether you have rules or you have impulses. Here's a mental model. Broke and rich are states. Smart and dumb are operating systems. If your operating system is strong, you can recover from setbacks. If it's weak, you can ruin a fortune. So ask yourself this: if your income doubled tomorrow, would your spending double too? If the answer is yes, you don't have a wealth plan. You have a lifestyle plan. Ask this one too. If your income dropped by 20%, would you be okay? If the answer is no, your lifestyle is too close to your income. Build margin before you build luxuries. And ask this: do you know your monthly number? The total it takes to run your life? If you don't know it, you're guessing. And guessing is how dumb rich happens. Now, let's talk about the scoreboard that matters. Not your salary, not your title. Your savings rate, the percentage you keep. A smaller paycheck with a strong savings rate wins. Because saving is not about deprivation, it's about control. When you control spending, you control margin. When you control margin, you control investing. When you control investing, you control options. Dumb rich people often say, "I'll start investing when I make more." But making more usually comes with spending more, so the later never arrives. Start with what you have, then grow it. Smart broke people do the opposite. They say, "I'll build the habit first." They invest small, consistently, and when income rises, the system is ready. The bigger money simply follows the groove. Here's a clean way to think about debt. Debt is future income you already spent. The more you owe, the more your future is pre-sold. Paying down bad debt is buying your future back. And here's a clean way to think about investing. Investing is buying future income on purpose. You're converting today's dollars into tomorrow's options. It's the same time trade, but in your favor. If you want to spot dumb rich quickly, look for this. They can't say no. Every invite, every upgrade, every status purchase feels mandatory. Their money is controlled by the room they're in. If you want to spot smart broke quickly, look for this. They have boundaries. They can skip, they can wait. They can say, "Not now." That ability to delay is a superpower in money. Another trap, treating money like a mood booster. Bad day, buy something. Good day, celebrate with something. Over time, spending becomes emotional regulation, and that is a very expensive habit. A smarter habit is a rule for celebration. Celebrate progress, not purchases. Hit a savings goal. Give yourself a small reward, but keep the majority moving toward the plan. Rewards should not erase wins. Let's do a quick contrast. Dumb rich buys the newest phone every year on payments. Smart broke keeps the old phone and buys ownership pan investment transfer every month. One shows status, one builds freedom. Over 5 years, the difference isn't the phone, it's the pattern. Payments create obligations. Ownership creates options. The controversial truth is most people choose obligations because they look better. So if you're currently broke, don't let that become your identity. Let it become your training season. Learn skills, build margin, and create rules. Smart broke is how you prepare for smart wealthy. And if you're currently rich, don't let that become your excuse. Rich without rules can vanish. Rich with rules becomes generational. The difference is boring discipline, done consistently without needing applause. One last reminder before we close. Nobody is coming to rescue your finances. That's good news because it means you're in control. Build the system and your future starts obeying you. If you're watching this and thinking, "I'm behind," remember this. Smart broke is a starting point, not a sentence. Dumb rich is a warning sign, not a destiny. Your system is the lever. Share this with a friend who confuses lifestyle with wealth, and comment the habit you're changing first. Tracking, cutting, leaks, paying down debt, or investing. I read the comments and I reply.